Hello, I am Marianne Rivera, and my assigned protein was hemoglobin. First, I wanted to talk a little bit about the protein levels of uh, regular proteins and of hemoglobin. So for the primary level of protein structure, it refers to the linear arrangement of the amino acids and their linkages. So for hemoglobin, its polypeptides are actually referred to as globins. They're not referred to as polypeptides like other proteins. Hemoglobin has two alpha and two beta sheets. They're subunits, so they are non-covalently bound. The secondary level of protein structure refers to the coiling or folding of the polypeptides, or in the hemoglobin's case, globins. So the alpha sheet is coiled. There are strands that are coiled, and the beta sheet is strands that are side by side. Again, hemoglobin has both. It has two of each. So the tertiary level of protein structure would be the overall three-dimensional shape of this. So how those alpha globins and beta globins are bent and folded and interact with each other to form the overall shape, which is often seen in for example, in a ribbon image of the protein. For the quaternary level of protein structure, it refers to how the subunits interact with each other to form a larger protein complex. Hemoglobin has the four globins and how they form a pyramid shape around an iron ion. That would be the quaternary level of protein structure for hemoglobin. However, it's not necessarily the case for all of the proteins, since the quaternary level of protein structure just refers to how the subunits interact with each other. So the function of hemoglobin would include keeping the cell in shape. So it gives it its nice round shape with a little bit of an indentation in the middle. So it can kind of look like a donut, but it doesn't have a center hole like a donut. It just has a small indentation. And this is very, very, very important for traveling. So the cell, if it's misshaped, it won't be too efficient in traveling and delivering and functioning. Another function of the hemoglobin would be to carry oxygen from the lungs to the tissues and carry carbon dioxide from the tissues back to the lungs. So that would be how we breathe, the respiration in our body. Hemoglobin is a huge part of that. So that would be its function in the organism. Within the cell, it would be how it shapes it. There is a lot of information on hemoglobin. There has been a lot of studies about it throughout the years. In the past 50 years, there have been a lot of things that have been found, and more details on, for example, genetic diseases or anything like that. They've uncovered a lot of information. So if you go to the internet or in any book or articles, there's a lot of information on this protein. So some genetic diseases would be, for example, whenever there is a very low amount of red blood cells, since hemoglobin is found in most vertebrates' red blood cells, when they have a low red blood cell count, it is considered anemia. So because there aren't enough red blood cells, the body cannot get the oxygen it needs to where it needs it. So there isn't enough cells to carry that oxygen to the essential places, which would make you a little bit weak or very weak. Another disease would be sickle cell disease, which refers to the irregular shape of the cell. Like I mentioned before, without a proper shape, the cell cannot do its job and travel around the body to deliver the oxygen that different body parts need. So if the cell does not have that proper shape, you won't be getting, you won't be functioning correctly because you're not getting the oxygen you need to the essential body parts. So sickle cell disease is just that misshape. It looks kind of like a U instead of a whole donut. That would be sickle cell disease. Thalassemia is also another genetic disease related to hemoglobin, which refers to the body's inability to produce healthy, efficient globin. So without the production of efficient globin, there is not enough healthy cells being produced, so there is not enough hemoglobin traveling around the body delivering oxygen where it needs to be delivered. So all of these three, what they have in common is that oxygen will not be getting to the parts where they need to be. So you will not be getting oxygen where you need it in order to function normally. Thank you for listening, and